Welcome to the Dr. Joe Show. I am Joe, and this is the show. Today we are here with review number 15. It's a non-Cuban cigar day. The last review we did was the Romeo and Juliet Short Churchill, and I thought that episode came out pretty good. I hope you thought so. That's what really counts. I definitely enjoyed making it. And trust me, I watched every minute of it because I had to edit the whole thing. It did come out to be a bit of a lengthy episode. So today we're going to keep things a little shorter, and not because we don't have anything to talk about, but because of time constraints and for the fact that we're going to do brand history on this cigar, but being that it is a smaller niche brand that really hasn't been overly recognized for quality cigars but for a few years back, as far as in the circuit anyway. I'm not saying they never made quality cigars before that. I'm just saying that it wasn't until recent years, say 2009, 10 up, that they started to become recognized for their cigars being really good. That makes it so information is scarce, and accurate information is even more scarce. We'll get into that a little bit. The cigar I am talking about today, or the brand, let's say first, is Casa Fernandez, also known as Tabacalera Tropical, which there's a whole bunch of things. I'm not, the tobacco for these cigars all comes out of Nicaragua. But we'll get more into that with brand history. The cigar is the Casa Fernandez Miami Arsenio. And we'll get into what that means. It doesn't have anything to do with Arsenio Hall, I assure you, thank God. But but it does have to do a little something with Miami and Casa Fernandez. And it also has to do with the blend that this is based on, the Casa Fernandez Miami, which happens to be a little gem of a cigar for $8. Great cigar. I've always loved them. I personally sold a ton of them back at the old shop when I was working there, and we got it in maybe around 2000, the beginning of 2012, late 2011. They came in maybe more like 12 probably, and I didn't know, I had never tried the cigar prior to that, and I smoked one and thought, this is pretty good, and smoked another and said, wow, that was even better. And started smoking them and realized, wow, these cigars are really good. They're flavorful, they're very consistent, they have great construction, draw, all that. They look good, they smell good, and I just started really to like the cigar until it ended up that I had smoked quite a few of them, and liked it so much that it was one of the few cigars that I bought a few of before I left and put together, almost put together a box. So I do have that, and one day we will review the Miami. But being that I already had smoked a lot of them and know that I like it, and saying, well, I'll rate it some other time based on whatever I get from that box, I wanted to do one that I hadn't tried, and that would be the Arsenio. This cigar is very much similar to the Miami. In fact, this is a special little cigar because it's almost a part of the Miami line. According to the website, and here's where, we'll get into that. Like I said, I'm not going to get into this now, but things like vary all over the web, but I had to be very... doing my research on this brand, I figured, another reason, let's not lie, another reason I chose it was because, it's a newer brand. There's not so much to say as far as brand history. It should be fairly straightforward and easy. Let me just get a few facts together and smoke the cigar and call it a night, because it's been a very long day. I ended up sitting there longer than any other thing I've done in order just to scrounge together the facts I managed to get. First of all, information is so scarce. Good information that means anything anyway is scarce. There's no wiki on the brand. There's the website, but the website itself, while nice, is slow to load, very slow to load, and it's not my internet, trust me. And the information there is very, very generic, written in fanciful terms, but generic, and it really doesn't tell you much as far as, facts that I'm looking for. And then when I go on the internet to look for facts about the cigars, there are conflicting facts, or not facts, they're conflicting, so one is a fact, one is not, but they're conflicting points all over the place on every issue, including where the fuck they're made, so it's a bunch of shit that I had to dig through to finally get together my little fact sheet, and I'm wishing at this point that I just chose a brand with a 600-year history so I could just have written everything down, or at something that I know very well in my head already, like maybe Fuente or fucking Davidoff, or I don't know, a lot of different brands, big ones, It took me a while. But anyway, the main difference on this guy is the wrapper. According to the website, the blend is the same as the Miami cigar, as the Casa Fernandez Miami, except for the wrapper, which in this case, this cigar uses a Corojo 2006 wrapper. Another conflicting point, but it does. That's what it uses, a Corojo 2006 wrapper. And in this case, again, nothing on the website, nothing all over the web. People seem to be not give a shit of what exactly they're smoking, because, okay, it says Corojo 2006 wrapper, but nobody out there is saying what that is all these review sites are just going, oh, a wonderful Corojo 2006 wrapper. And they don't say anything about it, because I know they don't want to say anything that could be proven wrong later on. And they don't know if is that Corojo 2006 like, Corojo 2009, like a hybrid we were talking about, or is that Corojo 2006 a 2006 crop? Now, nowhere did I find one or the other. But based on what I know and what I didn't find, I'm going to say that I think it is an aged wrapper from a 2006 crop, because as far as I can tell, there is no Corojo 06 hybrid. So I'm thinking that it's an aged wrapper. Anyway, let's take a look at the cigar. And here we are with the Casa Fernandez Miami Arsenio. This cigar only comes in one vitola, but it does come in two different wrappers. The size we have here is 5 1/4 inches by 54 millimeters. That's the ring gauge. And the wrapper, we have the natural version here, Corojo 2006, versus the Maduro version, which maybe someday we'll try, depending on what we think of this cigar. Nice looking cigar, nice looking wrapper. It's you could see that modeling, but it's very even throughout, so it looks very nice. It's a nice Colorado color, nice reddish tint to it, very nicely rolled, feels good. And I did let it sit down here for a good 10 minutes to acclimate to the cold. It is colder than ever down here, I'm telling you. The Casa Fernandez Miami Arsenio is basically an extension of the regular Casa Fernandez Miami line. The big difference is the wrapper. According to the website, the blend remains the same. And this cigar is, according to the website again, rolled in Miami. Hence the name Casa Fernandez Miami. There is, however, some discrepancy on the issue, but we will talk about that later. Alright, it's smoking time. I'm actually quite excited to try this cigar, because as I said, I really do like the Casa Fernandez Miami Blend. Ooh. Very soury barnyard type smell there. Nice, I like that. Smells like very rustic, but high quality tobacco. Nicaraguan all the way, baby. Sniff it too much and your nostril starts to burn. The wrapper is really, really nice. It's a bit oily, and there are a lot of very, very, very small crystals, a little bit of a plumy type, powder almost. Very hard to see without the right equipment, but it is there, which tells me this wrapper has a little bit of age to it, even though the cigar has been picked up fairly recently. Very nice. Triple capped, of course, very nice feel to it. Yeah, you can even see some crystals up inside the foot there. Very nice. I like that smell a lot. The wrapper has a sweeter smell, but this aroma from the foot is so powerful from the filler, you can still detect it when smelling the wrapper. Very nice. Give it a little clip and see what our pre-draw gives us. You know what? I'm going to take off a little bit, tiny bit more, because I like to get, I know the thing is with cutting, I'm going to cut a little, with the, I was contemplating not doing that because of the cold. I don't want to crack the wrapper again. And I did a little bit. I like to cut a little more. This is just me. I like to cut, it's still not a lot, obviously. I got the cap and I cut a tiny sliver of the filler off. But I find that if you take a tiny bit extra off, you get a little more flavor from the filler in the mouth. And I think that's probably because, you don't have the very end of the filler, which would have dried out the most. Wow. Wow. Heavy duty pre-draw. Woody, a lot of salt and sourness. Really nice. It's like getting like a heavy duty twang without even lighting the cigar. Very nice. A bit of a vegetal type flavor. Is wood, and there's the undertone of no, you don't know, but wood, salt, sour note, spice coming on, and some vegetal notes, almost like yeah, like, it's hard to say. Like reminds me of tiny, almost like broccoli type notes. Very, like a broccoli-ish type thing. Very good. Intense flavor. All right. I'm getting, it's spicy. I'm getting a lot of spice just from the pre-draw. Nice light. I was getting a lot of aroma of sweet baking bread. Wow. Very deep, earthy, spicy flavor. The good amount of salt and a sour bit of twang. The smoke is a bit wispy at this point, but wow, what a powerful flavor on the light. Just bang, a lot of spice. fairly smoky cigar. It's burning very nicely off the light so far. Sweet woody aroma. Sweet woody aroma. Wow. This tastes good, man. This tastes good. Bit wispy, but tasty as hell. A lot of spice. A lot of spice. My mouth is saturated with spice now. That's that spicy Corojo wrapper. That thing is nice. Definitely some good Ligero in this blend. It's a fairly heavy blend, but not too much. But for somebody who's like never smoked a cigar or is really coming into, you know, just mild cigars, this thing would be very intense. I mean, they might run. Every draw, I'm getting a lot of spice, wood, cedar, and this deep vegetal type note, kind of like a, like I said, like a broccoli-ish type thing going on. There is some sweetness to it too, as far as aroma goes. Hints of maybe a gramminess, almost like that Partagas short we were talking about a while back. Some kind of ginger graham cracker type sweetness, but that's mostly in the aroma. The flavors on the palate, especially the spice, are way too intense to allow the detection of an actual sweet note on the tongue. There is a bit of a Grammy kind of thing though. Yeah, maybe, yeah, it is actually kind of, maybe as the cigar tones down, that'll become more noticeable. This is delicious. It's delicious, very salty, very spicy. Very wispy smoke right now. I'm puffing on it like a champ. And the burn is staying very even. We have what appears to be a nice white on the surface. I guess the wrapper burning is white. On the inside is a more charcoaly gray, coming near black spectrum ash. Nice carbonization around the edge. It looks very like it's caramelizing. Wow. Every pull just saturates the front part of the tongue with salt and spice and that a twangy type note. This, wow. Very earthy, very vegetal. Except for a very distinct profile, an undertone that is obviously Nicaraguan tobacco, this thing comes close in several ways to tasting like a Cuban, more in, say, like the D4 type range. Comparing to the D4, which I rarely do this, comparing American domestic type cigars to Cuban cigars, but compared to the D4, this thing has a twang. It's not as sharp, but it's definitely as salty and sour. It has the same type of twangy flavor, but instead of that floral woody profile, it has a more earthy vegetal profile, and it's spicy, a lot more spicy than a D4. spicy than just about any Cuban I've ever smoked. Because it's not a Cuban. Wow, there goes an aroma, a dank floral aroma, very much like a Cuban type cigar. This thing is a nice blend so far. Very interesting. I'm going to let it sit for a bit. I don't want to over puff it and tunnel it and kill it because I'm enjoying the flavor so much. I'm like, it's very good. Let's talk a little bit about Casa Fernandez brand history. So that'll slow me down a bit and not destroy the entire cigar.